Hey everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to the most amazing garden tour I have done. My goal is to have a cottage garden, which means you can't really tell where one plant begins and the other ends. This year I planted vegetables among fruit, among flowers and herbs, and everything sort of all mixed in together to create a space that is just pretty. I wanted every view that you looked from anywhere in the garden to just be pretty. So I am fortunate enough to have my daughter Finley to work the camera today for me. We are gonna do this garden tour. I have somebody I want to introduce you to. You will see this little fella in this garden tour, I'm sure, because he is rather wild. So let me introduce you. Hold on just 1 minute. So this is Barry, otherwise known as Blackberry. We found him right over there in the woods. He left his mama's litter when he was only 4 weeks old, and we didn't know what to do with him. I did not want another animal. He wormed his way into Finley's heart, became Finley's cat. He is a wild child, but has just been the best. We let him come in the garden. He runs laps around it. He tries to climb the fence. You'll see him dart through. He likes to stalk us from the plants. So meet Barry. Okay, so let's take a tour. First, I want to share with you that my goal in creating this garden was to start all of my plants from seed using the winter sowing method, as well as seed starting inside. I did not want to buy any plants, and I wanted to try and do this as efficiently as possible, and I've done just that. So we're gonna start right here in this bed. And by the way, I have these papers. This is my planting. These are my planting trays. I cannot remember all of the plants that I have in here, which is a problem. I didn't label them. So note to you guys, if you plant, your seedlings, make sure you have a way to note what is what. I was having the time of my life and I just didn't label anything. So here we have it. This is a zinnia bed. All of these are direct seeded, meaning I cleared the ground and put the seeds directly in the soil. I have a blend of all different types of zinnias, and I put these stakes in here. I'm going to put netting over it. These flopped over last year when a heavy rain came. I called it a gully washer, and they laid over the sidewalk, which is this. I have like a little path. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't have that happen this year. These are going to be gorgeous. They'll get about this tall, and I'm so excited. I'm seeing some little, let me show you. Right here is a bud, and the kitty is in among the zinnias. Okay, so last year, this was my experimental bed. I had never grown flowers from seed ever in my life. I had grown vegetables, I had grown sunflowers, but I don't really think those counted. And I did winter sowing last year for the very first time, and this proved to be magnificent. I had bee balm lambada here. This year I wanted something a little more manageable because it was kind of chaos. You couldn't really tell what was what. So in here I wanted to only have flowers. So all along here I did to sort of flank this curve, I have dahlias, and my dahlias I started from seed. I did not use tubers at all. Starting them from seed, I used the American seeds, and they're amazing. So you can see I have some flowers that have already started. So I tried to do clusters of plants. I have stock, and I'm gonna just use this for reference. So this is the column blend stock. Never grown it before in my life. I have no idea what it's going to look like. As you can see, I have the dahlias, I have some dwarf, and then I have just a couple of other kinds. Right back here, I have celosia. This is the flamingo from Botanical Interest. And then look at these cosmos. These are the, I want to call them Sensation Blend and Seashell, and they are so beautiful. Aren't they so pretty? Yeah. Back here along This area, I decided to put the bee balm lambada. It was my favorite last year, but it was also very top heavy. So I wanted to be able to protect it and allow it to grow however it wanted to and not block a pathway. I see something new. That's a poppy. Look how pretty that is. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is a poppy. I have feverfew. This looks like a little tiny daisy. Right here across the front, I have gomphrena. I am not 100% sold out on these. I think I was supposed to grow, you know, a big cluster of them, and I didn't do that. So this front is still, it's not, like I wanted it to be super big impact. It's not for me. So we're just gonna have to see what happens with this. I may plant some more things. This is from last year. On this side, we have gladiolas from last year. And believe it or not, these gladiolas, which are these, are from the Dollar Tree. I bought them last year as little bulbs and planted them. They didn't do so well last year. This year they've come back and they're gorgeous. I love them. I have some zinnias here, and then in the front I've got zinnias back here, cosmos. These are absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. And what's so funny about these, I don't know if you can see, Finley, there's a little bee on there. So I could not for the life of me remember the name of these flowers, and funny enough, their name is forget-me-not. So I've got them throughout the garden, and I just love the pop of color that seems to be everywhere. This is the Orange Hat Micro Dwarf Tomato, and I planted those all along. That's from Baker Creek, and they're full of tomatoes. I'm so excited. I didn't put them in pots. I just wanted little decorations of tomatoes. I have roses over here. This bed right here is left to be done. I'm not finished. My roses are really struggling this year for some reason. I've got black spot, and so I'm not sure how I'm going to handle this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I have coleus because this kind of stays shady, and these I grew from seed. I absolutely love them. I think they are so pretty. I wasn't sure how much sun they would handle, but they seem to be doing okay. So this is where I started bringing in the vegetables in my garden. Back here I have corn, and I did it in sort of a semicircle space, and I did the Indian corn or ornamental corn all along the front. So that's what's going to line the front. Those seem to be taller right now. And then back here I have yellow and white sweet corn. I have my most favorite plant here. This is the Mexican sunflower. This is called Tithonia. I grew this last year and fell in absolute love with it. It gets about 10 feet tall. I thought it was dwarf, so I planted it at the front of my garden, and I found out really quickly that it's not dwarf. So I put them in the back of my garden this year so that they could be a spotlight and not block the view from everywhere else. So you'll see a couple of these. I love them so much. I grew these in my winter sowing method, and amazing. These are so, so pretty. Look at that color. So coming in front of the corn, I have a lot of different varieties. First, I want you to look at this bouquet dill. Isn't that gorgeous? I have dill, I have tomatoes. This is a zucchini, but look at how cool the leaves are. And the fruit is supposed to stay a lot smaller. Thing I wanted to share with you guys, I have bachelor buttons. I think the flowers are fantastic, but the plants are not my favorite. I do not like how they just look very wormy and not so much. This, I am not sure what it is. So if any of you know, feel free to share. This is an Anaheim pepper right here. I need to probably put a cage on it. And then I am growing okra for the first time for Finley. She loves okra. So we are growing the spineless okra. It's got some spots on it, so I'm sure I need to do something to it. Again, this is my first time. I don't like it, so I've never grown it before. These are marigolds called Mission marigolds. Look at how gorgeous they are. I don't like marigolds, and Finley really seemed to want some, and so I grew these for her, and I am so glad that I did because I am now a fan of marigold. Again, I have the Mexican sunflower, the tithonia, and you can see how big and bulky this one's getting. And then I also did one here as a focal point and one right there. Here I have poppies. I want to say these are the Iceland mix, and I think they are so pretty. I have 2 cattle panel trellises. Decided to go with the purple hyacinth vine, and so soon enough the whole thing will be covered and absolutely beautiful, and then I'll have this as the focal point. We've moved over to this side. I have bachelor buttons in the front. You can see how these are growing upright. I like that a whole lot better than the ones that are laying on the ground. I have more of the micro dwarf tomatoes. I have feverfew. These are green beans. I grew some bush green beans. So in here on this side, I have black-eyed Susan vine. And I just flipped over a tomato cage and ran some string down for it to run. I didn't have anything for it to climb, and this is working great, and I had it on hand, so I didn't have to spend any money. These are 4 o'clock. These I got from, I want to say, the Dollar Tree, the American seeds. And initially I wasn't a fan because they just seemed to flop over, but now I'm really excited to see what the flowers look like. Right here I have a bush cucumber. So I have more status, calendula, poppies, and then I want you to look, I have 2 tomatoes here and some basil. Actually, that's anise, hyssop, right here. And then Finley, I want you to come around the front. And I want to show you this ageratum. Isn't that beautiful? It's the other name for it is floss flower. Super pretty. All right, so behind me, I want you to see the grapevine. So in the grapevine, I have scuppernong and muscadine, all right here. These are the raspberry. And over here, we have our blackberries, and I certainly did not leave enough room for those. I wanted this to be a main focal point right here, and then on the other side. So across the back, I lined it with tomatoes. And then right here, I planted all along the back of this bed, bee balm lambada. So it will get high and it will be very pretty and lots of flowers and a pollinator's dream. This is my very first ever and my only seed to germinate. These are bells of Ireland. I'm super proud of these because evidently they're pretty hard to germinate, and I did a whole pack and I only was able to get 1 plant out of all of them. So that's the one. I'm really excited. I don't know if that's all it does, but if that's all it does, that's okay. If you can kind of see, I created a walkway down this way, and we're gonna make some stepping stones. I wasn't sure if we were going to put some tall flowers through here. Originally, I thought, okay, let's do some sunflowers, but then I got to thinking last year it was really tall with tomatoes. I had tomatoes, I think I had 23 tomato plants in here along with peppers, and I always hated it because I couldn't see through. So this time I wanted to create a way to walk through. It attaches to the pathway coming from the greenhouse, and you sort of walk this way. So I started to put grass in here sort of to just create another pathway, but for now I'm gonna leave it as it is. Now let's look at this side. It's absolutely gorgeous. I have cosmos, forget-me-nots. This is Mizuno. I have no idea what to do with it. I just think it's really pretty, so that's why I'm leaving it alone. Just a big mix of flowers all throughout. Now, what I didn't tell you is lining this whole walkway, I have potatoes. I have purple potatoes. So all of these across the front are purple potatoes. And then I went in and added some zinnias all throughout. So I need to water them because they are super dry. Black-eyed Susans. I've got some calendula over there, the orange flower. I've got feverfew, poppies, daisies, asters. Actually have some asters over here. Again, the micro dwarf tomato. So now we start over here. I had a lot of plants left over, a lot. I had a whole wagon full by the time I planted all of this. And so these two beds are my leftover beds. They sort of are the catch-all, and they are where I have no rhyme or reason. This was my herb bed last year. I hated it because it always looked very unkept. And so I have lemon balm from last year. You wanna smell that?
It's very strong.
Yeah, it smells, yeah, it's very nice though, right?
Yeah.
Just saw this for the first time. I love it. It's crazy. Like every day you come out and you see something new that you hadn't seen before. I want you to see this. So this is supposed to be a smaller zucchini. I'm excited to try this. We'll probably eat this for dinner. Look good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then I have celosia. I think this is the flamingo celosia. It's very pretty. I like that color. And then this bed over here, this was the very end, the very last thing that I planted. And what I did, I just threw everything that I had. I didn't want to waste anything. And I've actually grown to really love this bed because it's so much color. Like for example, the phlox. I wasn't excited about growing the phlox, but look at it. Look at how bright and radiant those colors are. It's, I guess, red. Then we have the hot pink here. And then on top of it, we have these snapdragons. Never grown those before. Great one. And then I just saw this one today. Look how pretty that is.
It's like a yellow and orange.
Yeah. These are different types of daisies. I didn't even know I was, you know, I had put these in here because they felt like weeds. So, and then I have Cosmo. I have a little bit of everything. I have zinnias and then the ageratum, the floss flower right over there. And then I have shallots and black-eyed Susans and coneflower. I have a lot of coneflower in here. Hey, Barry. Can you say hello to the people? Come here. Say hello. Say hello. Can I hold you now? Yeah. Can you say hello?
He keeps following us wherever we go.
Oh, and he's purring. Oh, and then he bites. He's just a wild man. And that concludes our tour for June of this garden. And I hope that you have enjoyed this. I hope that this has been inspirational for you and that you look forward to seeing how it blooms and how it changes throughout the summer. I'm so excited to see what happens and what comes of it. I'm sure that by the time everything blooms, I'll know what it is. So probably by the July garden tour, I'll be able to tell you exact names of everything. So feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I appreciate you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell so you can be reminded when I'm doing videos. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.